Welcome to LUTV News InFocus, where we feature interesting topics on campus, in the community, and in the world of culture. I am Briana Dupas. As the semester comes to an end, so are the officials for student government at Lamar. The student government voting for the 2020 to 2021 school year has ended, congratulating 6 new candidates into office. Timesha Miller, the 2019-2020 senior class senator for Student Government Association, is here to talk about her time in the position and give words to encouragement to the next candidate. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. So what was the essential role for your position on student government?
So the essential role for the senior class senator is to make sure that I carry out projects, I pass legislation or bills, legislation such as bills and resolutions. Anytime we have other bills brought up by different senators, the Senate's actually vote upon the bills to have them moved throughout the Senate. So basically, essentially, my job was to pass legislation, work on projects, and just help SGA in any way possible.
That's interesting. So what were the different projects that you or SGA worked on during your time as senior class senator?
So essentially, for my position, I've worked on projects such as the resource guide. I'm creating a resource guide that'll be given to each student when they come to Lamar during orientation. That'll showcase a bunch of different resources on campus that they might not know about off of just looking at the website and things of that nature, like hidden gems, basically. Another project that I worked on was Coffee with Congress. It is basically a project to make SGA more accessible to students, where we give out cookies, brownies, and we talk to students as they're passing by about the current projects that we're working on or the projects that are coming up for the future, or ones that we passed. A few other projects that we worked on within SGA. I know we worked on the SGA box. We have a little box in the Student Center Center. It's a suggestion box for any students to put a suggestion just in case they don't come to the joint sessions that we have, or just in case they're not able to come to the joint sessions. It's like another way for us to be more accessible to them. We worked on getting a PR chair. So the president actually wound up finding somebody for the PR position. So projects of that nature.
Okay. Have there been any kind of communication between um, your your group from last year's or this coming semester ending and the new candidates? Have there been any kind of communication in terms of helping them transition into the office?
Yes, of course. So we actually just recently passed a bill called the transition. It's like called the transition report bill. So basically it requires that each executive officer and each senator are required to do a transition report for the next upcoming group of SGA members. So there's been a lot of communication between the current SGA and the future SGA. I know me personally, the next officer coming in my position, her name is Alexia, and I've actually reached out to her and told her I was creating the report and trying to make it as detailed as possible. So the upcoming SGA is currently, a lot of them don't really have a lot of SGA experience. So we're trying to be as transparent as possible and give them all of the information and tools that they need to succeed within SGA.
What is one takeaway that you would get from experiencing and having this position on campus?
One takeaway for me would be to always be accessible to students. I've had students come up to me and just say they saw like the littlest problem on campus, and I was able to tell them, hey, you should come to the joint session, speak your mind and speak your opinion, and we can work on that as a group. And just making sure that the biggest takeaway was to be accessible to students at all times. That's your main focus with being an SGA, not necessarily carrying out projects that are just important to me, but making sure they're important to the senior class as a whole. So just making sure I'm accessible at all times.
I want to go back to the new candidates.
Mm.
what advice would you give to those candidates that are going into office, specifically Alexia, as you mentioned?
So for me, overall for the new candidates, my advice to them would be make sure that everyone knows what SGA is and everyone knows what a joint session is. Those are sessions that SGA holds that allows any current LU student to come to these sessions and allow them to speak their opinion, speak their minds on anything they've seen on campus that they like to see change, anything they've seen that SGA did that was good, anything they would like to share with us is these joint sessions that we have once a month, 1 hour. I would just suggest that they make sure that that everyone knows that we have these joint sessions. Specifically for Alexia, in the transition report, one of the biggest things that I hit on is make sure you breathe, you relax, because it may seem like a lot at first, but once you get into the position and you start rolling with the different things coming up, it'll be easier. And another thing I added in there was for her to make sure that she don't take on too many projects at once.
Anything else you would like to add?
Um, Last thing would be I just hope that future SGA sessions are filled, and that a lot more people start coming out, because I know a lot of people have a lot of things they want to see changed on campus, but a lot of them don't come to the sessions and speak up. And that's why we have the SGA suggestion box and we have the sessions for everybody to speak their mind. And there's a lot of things that we would like to change, but we need the LU students' help to have those changes.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Timesha, for speaking to me today. And thank you for listening to LUTV News in Focus. To see more content from LUTV News, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.